Hi everyone, and welcome! Today, we're tackling a common question: how to install an RPM file on Arch Linux. This can be a bit tricky because RPM packages are designed for Red Hat-based distributions like Fedora or CentOS, not for Arch Linux. Arch uses its own package manager, pacman, and a different package format, typically .pkg.tar.zst files. Directly installing an RPM file on Arch is generally not possible or recommended. But don't worry, there are several approaches and workarounds you can use if you absolutely need to get software from an RPM onto your Arch system. First and foremost, the best practice is to avoid RPMs entirely on Arch Linux. Always check if the software you need is available through Arch's official repositories. You can do this by using sudo pacman ss package_name. If it's not there, your next step should be to look in the Arch user repository, or AUR. The AUR contains thousands of community-maintained packages, often with PKGBUILDs that can build software from source, or even repackage software from other formats into an Arch-compatible package. Using an AUR helper like yay or paro makes this process very easy. You would typically run yay_s package_name, or paro_s package_name. This is the cleanest and most integrated way to install software on Arch. Furthermore, consider if the software is available as a Flatpak, Snap, or App Image, which are cross-distribution package formats that work well on Arch without needing to mess with RPMs. Compiling the software directly from its source code is another robust option if you have the necessary build tools. However, if you have an RPM file and no other option seems viable, you have a couple of advanced workarounds. The simplest method is to extract the contents of the RPM file. This doesn't install the software in the traditional pacman sense, meaning it won't handle dependencies or integrate with your package manager, but it will give you the raw files. To do this, you first need to install rpmextract, which is available in the AUR. Once installed, you can use rpmextract your_file.rpm to extract its contents into the current directory. This command basically uses rpm2kpio to convert the RPM to a kpio archive and then kpio to extract the files. You will then need to manually move the extracted files to appropriate system directories, like /usr/local/bin for executables or /usr/local/lib for libraries. Remember, this is a manual process and doesn't provide any dependency management. For a more integrated approach, you could attempt to convert the RPM into an Arch package. This is considerably more complex and usually involves creating a custom PKGBUILD file. This PKGBUILD would specify the RPM as a source, extract its contents, and then package them into a standard arch.pkg.tar.zst file that pacman can install. This requires a good understanding of PKGBUILD syntax and how Arch packages are structured. Tools like debtap exist for converting DEB packages to Arch packages, but a direct, simple tool for RPM to Arch is less common and often requires manual intervention. Often, the AUR will have a PKGBUILD that already does this for popular RPM-only software, so always check there first. This method, while more involved, at least allows pacman to track the installed files, making future updates or removals easier, though dependency resolution still remains a challenge if the RPM relies on non-standard libraries. So, while directly installing an RPM on Arch Linux isn't a native feature, you have powerful alternatives and some advanced workarounds. Always prioritize using pacman, the AUR, or cross-distribution formats first. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope this explanation helps you navigate installing software on Arch Linux, especially when you encounter RPM files. If you found this information useful, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe for more Linux tips and tricks. See you next time.